explain to people again. You went a little fast. Explain to people again
Sorry.
what Main Core is.
Main Core is a database that was created by the Iran-Contra people in the 1980s, but it still exists. And it contains names of Americans who are deemed "quote unquote" unfriendly by the national security state and could be rounded up or incarcerated during a national crisis. And
they actually said this. They actually said this.
It came up during the Iran-Contra hearings, and the hearings were shut down when Senator Jack Brooks tried to ask a question about it. I put the video
is that what
article.
that was?
Yes.
Oh, I saw. So that was this Daniel Inouye shut that down. The
Yes,
senator from Hawaii. He shut that down. Okay, so now
there was a Miami Herald report about it, actually, because it involved Cheney and Rumsfeld as well, even though they weren't officially in the Reagan administration.
So they're collecting names of Americans, and I'm sure someone like me would be on that list. And what they would do is this: if they started a war. And they wanted to.
That was very unpopular. There was a financial crisis.
They would just put.
Henry Paulson under Bush in 2008 piloted the idea of declaring martial law across the country if the banks weren't bailed out.
And it's
the same people.
And they could throw people in jail. They explicitly said this, right? So, but Main Core didn't go away with Iran-Contra. How did it?
No.
What's the modern reinvention of Main Core?
Yeah, so Main Core is the database, right? And it was the same people that created that, which was in use after 9/11, and as far as we know, still exists. The last mainstream media report on it was in 2008, and at that point, it had 3 million Americans on it. And as far as we know, it hasn't gone away, so it's likely more. But the same people that made that made this DARPA program called Total Information Awareness, or TIA.
Right.
And the goal of TIA was to basically combine with Main Core, but through data mining, not only decide who gets on the Main Core list, but also create sort of this pre-crime paradigm, predictive policing.
Pre-crime. They're really doing this. So this TIA, what does TIA stand for?
Total Information Awareness.
Now, was that a government?
The name of the program.
Was that originally a government program? But it's now been
a DARPA program.
It's a DARPA program, but now it's Palantir is doing this. Peter Thiel.
Now it's Palantir. Yes.
And
so
what is
TIA?
Tell people what that is.
Yeah. So Total Information Awareness was defunded by Congress not long after it was launched because every mainstream media outlet, the ACLU, and organizations like it across the board said this will end privacy for Americans. It's unconstitutional. So it was defunded.
And why? What did it do? What did it do?
It sucked up. It was going to basically spy on all Americans, total information awareness, right? And decide who was going to commit a crime before it happened.
Yes.
Terror attacks before it happened, bioterror, even pandemics before they happen, which is why a lot of the policies that originally Total Information Awareness proposed came back during the Trump administration during COVID, and Palantir was the contractor for all of those. What do you know?
So,
but anyway.
So TIA, this TIA thing, which came from Main Core. So TIA, they're going to use.
It's related to Main Core.
So related. So they're going to use every telephone call you ever make, every text you ever make, every Google search, every website you ever go to. They have a way of collecting all of that data.
They collect all of it.
And they put it into a database on you, and they have this kind of capability. And so immediately after this was invented, you're right, all these organizations pushed back against it. So the government said, okay, we're not going to do it anymore. But then Palantir was like, well, we'll do it because we don't have those.
Well,
go ahead.
It's even worse than that. Palantir didn't exist yet. Peter Thiel created Palantir as Total Information Awareness was getting into trouble and experiencing the public backlash. And as they were setting it up, they used Richard Pearl to connect them with Poindexter, who was running Total Information Awareness, about essentially privatizing the program and having Palantir do what TIA, or Total Information Awareness, had intended to do. And Total Information Awareness, though it was housed in DARPA, was intimately pushed and developed with CIA involvement, particularly the chief information officer of the CIA at the time, a guy named Alan Wade, who was actually a business partner of Ghislaine Maxwell's sister, Christine. Fun fact.
So
But
let me just break in just one more side, just so people realize the scope of what we're talking about, because this is really ominous, right? So, and this has been coming for a long time, and now Peter Thiel and Palantir is at the forefront of this, and so Poindexter's and a DARPA program manager. This is from your article. LifeLog sought to. This is what they sought to do. They sought to build a database tracking a person's entire existence that included an individual's relationships and communications, meaning phone calls, mail, email, all, plus their media consumption habits, their purchases, and much more, in order to build a digital record of, quote, everything an individual says, sees, or does.
Jeez.
LifeLog
this program was LifeLog. Yeah.
They would. This is LifeLog. They would then take this unstructured data and organize it into discrete episodes or snapshots, while also mapping out relationships, memories, events, and experiences. This seems so Aldous Huxley crazy futuristic,
Yes.
but it's not future. It's here now, and they have
And it
these
happened decades ago.
and so the
Yeah.
person in charge of this right now, or the person pushing it in the private sector, would be Peter Thiel, and Peter Thiel is now responsible for JD Vance's funding and getting JD Vance connected with Donald Trump, and for being a big funder of Donald Trump and JD Vance's campaign right now. And so that's why this is all important.